Hi, it's Tim with HomePro Solutions, and one of the questions we get asked from time to time is, does solar really save you money? If I put solar on my roof, am I really going to save money? See my neighbors do it. I hear stuff in the news that sounds like it's a good idea, but does it really save you money? And so I'm going to go over a couple things here that are going to kind of explain how that all works and why you actually do save money most of the time when you go solar, especially in the state of California. So take out all the other states where their price per kilowatt hour to use electricity can be really low at some points. Those states, you're not going to save any money. In fact, in some states it makes no sense to go solar based on weather and or the fact that you may already have a really low cost for power. But we live in California, and so most of our business is done in California. So we're going to talk about how Californians could save money by going solar. So currently, most people in California are going to be paying anywhere between 23 and 35 cents per kilowatt hour for power. They're paying their electric bill every single month. This is about the range of price that you're going to see depending on how much power you actually use. And so the whole goal of solar is to offset that, right? It's so I put these panels on my roof and I no longer pay this, but what am I really going to pay for the solar? And so there's two different ways, really 2 to 3 different ways you could go solar. You could buy the panels outright, or you could finance them. I would say 90% of the people just finance them and say, I'm just going to save money over what I'm currently paying my local electricity provider. So let's just take a typical home that someone might be paying, say, $200 a month for power, or $2,400 a year for their electricity. Now this is electricity only. They're paying, this cents per kilowatt hour, that per month, and they're looking to save money, and by looking at solar. And so that $2,400 a year is quite a substantial amount of power that they're purchasing. On average, it's probably around 8,000 total kilowatt hours of power that they're using. That's just a round number, by the way. And so what happens is we have some solar software where we take a peek at your roof, we lay out the solar panels on your roof, and we figure out, based on factors like shading, if you have trees around your house, how much shading you have. The roof planes can be a little bit different. Not all of them lay out perfectly so you can put all the panels on one area. My home in particular has a lot of roof planes, and so I have solar panels on 4 different roof planes on my home. But so that's going to be a factor in how many panels you would need to produce 8,000 kilowatt hours of power. So we look at your annual usage, we pull up the usage and say, okay, over the last 12 months, this family has used 8,000 kilowatt hours. So we need to put a number of panels on the roof that will produce 8,000 kilowatt hours. Well, when you do that, the whole goal is to produce that much, or maybe a little bit more, so you have a little bit of a buffer, but that cost is less than what you're currently paying. And so I mentioned there's a couple different ways to go about it. One is financing it, and we do no upfront cost at all. There's almost every company out there has a solar financing situation. Just like a mortgage or a car or anything else, you could finance your solar system. Many of them range from 20 years to 10 years. Just kind of depends on how long you want to finance it. Rates could be as low as 2.49% up to 4.99%. And that depends on the time of year, the promotions, maybe credit score, stuff like that. But in general, you're going to find that a 20-year financing program is very, very popular in today's economy, because people are spending, say, $200 a month. We put 15 panels on your roof, and like I said, the factors of that total cost do vary. But let's just say most homes are going to save 30 to 60% off of what they're currently paying. So let's just take a little bit of the low end, say 40% you'll save. So instead of paying $200 a month, now you're going to go solar on your roof, and you're going to spend $110 a month. So you go from $200 to $110, and now you're saving $90 a month initially, but think about what you're going to be saving down the road, right? Because you're going to lock in $110 a month for 20 years, and you know that that's going to be your electrical cost. You were paying $200 a month, but remember, your local utility has been raising your rates pretty much every year. And so that $200 next year is probably going to be $220, the following year $240, $260, up to $300. So the savings actually grows year after year as the utility raises their rates. You're locked in at $110 a month. And I like to say, if your utility provider called you right now and said, "Hey, Mr. Jones, if you we're running a special in your neighborhood, and we're going to lock you in at $110 a month, and over the next 20 years, your bill's not going to go up at all. And at the end of 20 years, you're all paid up on your power. You don't have to pay us any more for your electricity as long as you live in the home." How many of you would raise your hand or sign up and say, "I'm in," right? So that's kind of what solar does for you. So solar is locking in a rate that you're going to pay over the next 20 years. And oh, by the way, after the 20 years, your system's paid off, and then you have zero bill, zero electricity bill, or zero solar bill, I should say, because you've knocked out your electricity. Now you're just paying for your solar panels. So the goal is to get those 8,000 kilowatt hours produced by your solar panels, because that's all that's happening. Right now you're just paying your utility for those 8,000 kilowatt hours. Now when your solar system is producing those 8,000 kilowatt hours, you're just paying for the cost that it costs for you to put solar on your roof. That was it. So return on investment, people sometimes say, "Well, what's my real return on investment? When do I start to break even?" When you finance, the general rule of thumb is about 6 to 10 years. And there's different factors, like I said, that matter there, and that's how big the system is or how many panels you got and stuff like that. But 6 to 10 years, you will have broken even completely. A lot of times this is transferable to the next homeowner if you were to move. Not 100% of the time. Just want to let you know that in certain products it is fully transferable. And then the other way that people will do it is they'll just go with a lump sum of cash, and they'll avoid some of the fees associated with financing. Obviously, if you finance anything over a longer period of time, you end up paying more for it. And so the cash return on investment is about 4.5 to about 7 years. And you could be paid up in the savings on your cost to go solar. So you pay a chunk of change for solar. Let's just say it's $20,000. You get a rebate, not a rebate, an actual tax credit from the federal government. And then you're going to get that back when you file your taxes. And I'll go into that on a different video, not on this video. And so you have a little bit less that you actually have put out of pocket, and then over the time, as you're not spending that $200 a month or $2,400 a year, you will break even. And so that's how saving money in California makes sense to go solar. Right now, all the programs are there for you. You have the federal tax credit. You have other ways that help people get going with solar. And so saving money is definitely something that Californians can do by putting solar panels on their roof. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out to us at info@homeprosolutions.com. Hope that answered that question for you, and look forward to coming to you with some other videos talking about the tax credit, net metering, and other things associated with going solar. Talk to you soon.